We're getting ready to find
Hello,
out.
everyone. How are you? And welcome to
She
Let
did that on
Loose with
purpose.
Lou. My co-host Steve.
Hey
We
guys,
we are having a conversation already right before we even begun, right? This is
we
gonna be
were done.
good.
It's gonna be a good one.
It sure is. But let me go ahead and introduce Melone, my co-host Melone as well.
Right?
Hello,
Hey, hey.
girlfriend. You looking refreshed?
Yeah, my voice is a little hoarse. Just got off a plane not too long
Ooh,
ago.
that I
Where
heard.
from?
Chicago.
Ah.
Okay.
Mm.
I know. So we had Steve in London,
Mm-hmm.
Malone in Chicago, and here's Lou sitting still in town doing nothing.
Mm.
But you're here.
But I'm here. Yes. And we have a special guest, Charmaine. Welcome, Charmaine.
Welcome, Charmaine.
Hello.
So, we're having a conversation about what are we having a conversation about? Spiritual life. It's just in general, right? How we stress, how we react, how we solve the issues. Because every day there's just so much. Well, not there isn't a lot of stress every day, but there is situations that cause stress, right?
Yeah, I would say right. Life's got it all. Life's got it all. It has beautiful sandy beaches and great people, and equally terrible swamps and stress and suffering. And it's all about kind of like your ability to interface with them all.
That's it.
So we have what I understand to be kind of a spiritual type, a healer of sorts. Is that right,
Yeah,
Lou?
we're gonna let her explain. Let's have Charmaine explain here what her professionalism is.
Okay.
Charmaine,
Well, on a spiritual level, hello everybody. Thank you for
hi.
having me.
Thank
But
you.
I call myself an energy healer. So I
Mm.
see energy. I work with chakras. I do healing. So my hand gets hot. So it's called really a pranic healer. So a pranic healer is a person that can scan the body and pick up any negative energy that's on the body and can pull it off the body and add white light and give you the healing that you need. So a lot of people are dealing with stress, anxiety is because of the negative energy that they're holding on to their body. I can detect it sometimes without even touching you. I can feel it. And I'm like, oh Lord, oh, what are you dealing with? And they end up confirming. And so I already know where I need to work at. And that's what
Mm.
I do. So I do that. I'm also a medium, a psychic, a healer. I see the people on the other side. I've been seeing
Ooh.
that since I was little, like 3 years old. And so I have a lot of gifts with me.
Well, if you do see anybody from the other side, please let them know that they are welcome
I
to give
definitely
us
will.
a reading.
I
Mm.
definitely
I
will.
you look impressed. Look at that. Look at that.
Well, just I mean, my here's my experience. First of
Mhm.
all, I think it's important to like clarify things for our
Yes,
viewers, right?
yes.
So, pranic healing and saying
Mhm.
a bit more about what that is, and like
Okay.
maybe like it sounds like auras and like being able to see the auras in different
Mhm.
colors or
Mhm.
energy fields and being able to
Yes.
kind of define that more for us and our viewers of
Sure.
what that is.
Yes.
And then just as like kind of a compliment to you, what I have seen so far in my life is people who have one of those talents but not two or three. And so what
Mhm.
you're saying is you have,
Yes.
energy healing abilities, medium abilities,
Mhm.
and psychic abilities. And so it might be also good to just for you to define all these things so everyone knows kind of
Okay.
what we're talking about. And I have my own definition, but
Okay.
you're the talent.
Well, I just have the skill sets. That's all I got. Okay.
All
All that
right.
little mumbo jumbo and all that, the language. Okay. So I can feel, touch, see, and hear on the other side.
Mm.
We're gonna
So
have to
that's
put
pretty
some of this
much.
to work.
So, you have all the clear sensing, clear
Melon?
audio and all that. I'm still studying all them terms. It's just
Okay.
that it happened to me. And so, okay, all right, let me explain a little bit detail.
Uh-huh.
But the overall pranic healing, my hand gets hot.
Yes.
And I can show a picture of what it looks like in the sun, but
Oh.
it's a burning sensation in my hand. I can get close to somebody and like, uh-oh, they'll show me exactly what part of the organ of the body that the person having some issues.
Mhm,
And I'll say, okay, are you drinking water? They
mhm,
say, no. I say, okay, your kidneys is calling for water because
mhm.
I can tell the kidneys needing water. So what it is the divine light that goes through my body
Mhm.
where my hand gets hot, and then I can search and feel where your body is having some negative energy. I know how to pull it off with the angels that's helping me. And then I
Mm.
add the white light from divine light. That's it. I'm just a vessel just being used to give message and heal people. That's it.
Mm.
Simple as
Charmaine,
that.
if it felt right, would you be open to doing that on the show for
Sure.
one of the three of us?
Absolutely.
Okay. So let me just add a little bit, and maybe it's just kind of my style, if you don't
Okay.
mind, Lynn.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Is
Go right ahead. Jump in.
and you can
Let
you,
loose.
I'm a little let loose, right? And I care that you don't really care about the language,
Not
but
at
there might
all.
be people who are watching who do.
Okay. Okay.
So
Melon.
so pranic healing, just so people understand, is this ability to use your energy to detect the energy of other people and the type of healing that they might need.
Correct. But
Okay.
it's not so much my energy, it's divine
Divine
energy
energy.
that's coming through my
Mm.
body. Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Right.
Because I
Okay.
don't get drained.
Mm.
I don't
You're
touch.
channeling it
I'm
through
being
you.
channeled through me. Yes.
So
Yes.
you're not
Because
actually getting tired.
no, it's an activation. That's why when I get close, I don't even know you're feeling it, but it's a channel that comes through me that says, okay, something's wrong with this person's body. And then I just do the healing and that's it.
Let me ask this question.
Yes, ma'am.
You said, and this is just me.
Uh-huh. Yes.
I'm curious. So, is this divine healing coming from a god or from a demon? I mean, where's
Oh
it
no,
coming from?
no. It's divine light from God.
Okay.
Yeah, no darkness. It's all
Okay.
light.
'Cause I was
Melon.
gonna ask you, were you a witch
Yes.
next?
She's
No,
so.
ma'am.
She's like,
I
"Girl."
mean, we do have witches,
Yes, we
and
do.
I know
Yes.
people that are they talk like it's good, but yet and still they are demonic.
Yeah. Oh.
So
Yes. Again, be
that was my
careful.
question. Yeah, you do.
No,
You
no,
do.
ma'am.
Okay.
Right, so
No.
she's channeling divine light, divine godly energy
Positive
Yes,
light.
through
Yes.
energy.
So this
to
is something
to
that
do the
God
energy
Yes, I
Yes.
healing.
have no control of it.
has
Yes.
put
Yes.
you as one
We
of like the
love
prophets
positive,
that
don't we?
Yes.
heal.
Okay, I
Yeah.
don't know all about the prophet now, but I'm
Oh.
you added more to it. But
Then there's
I try to keep it simple,
right.
you know.
And then there's mediums, which I understand.
Yes.
The medium's talent is the ability to kind of interact with uh,
The
people on the
loved
other
ones on the other
side,
side,
right? Or
yes.
maybe angels on their side,
Yes.
and
And family members,
and
definitely
bring back
family, yes.
messages.
Yes,
And then a psychic is like more of like that traditional fortune teller who can
correct.
say like, it looks like these things in the future may
Yes,
happen.
yes.
So
Dun, dun, dun.
when did you let's ask some questions and maybe
Yes,
you can
please.
do a reading if it
Okay.
feels good.
Yes.
When did you discover that you had these abilities?
Well, because my childhood was a little challenging, I used to always be on the other side when I was young. So my mother used to always have to put strings in the house for
Mm.
me to be able to stay focused. So that I have to live through my siblings to tell me the stories. So I don't really know where I used to live at. I don't really celebrate birthdays, holidays, anything like that. But until I turned 18, it was time for me to leave. And I heard Spirit says time to go. So I packed up and I left and I came to California. And from that point, that's when I'll see people walk past. I'll go I'll cross the street and I'll get dizzy and I'll say, okay, I just stepped in another dimension. So all this here is just me learning and being taught by my spirit guides and angels is teaching me because I don't listen to nobody else. I let them teach me because when you're ready for something, they'll reveal something else to you so you can keep growing.
Mm.
So it was always ever present. You've
Always.
always been sort of discovering
Yes.
which plane you're on, where the
Yes.
information's coming, physical
Correct.
dimension, spiritual dimension, and
Yes.
just sort of always like discovering and mastering that
Correct.
process.
Yes.
Wow, that I imagine that was probably confusing or scary as a kid at times, or what was that like
Uh,
as a kid?
well, no, let me just wind it back a little bit.
All right.
So I was a teen parent. So I was pregnant when I was 13 years old. And I had to go through abandonship with my grandmother and my father. And so because I was always alone, so nobody really wanted to hang with a teenager who had a baby. So I was always alone. So I had to develop me. I had to go within me and nurture a little baby. But while I was in the hospital, an angel came into the hospital and
Wow.
sat with me for 5 days. And so when it was time for me to leave, I kept saying, "Where's Nurse Loretta?" I said, "The nurse came and sat with me because I didn't have a TV, radio, nothing in the room." And they said, "We don't have anybody named Nurse Loretta." And so I kept saying, "Yes, you do. She came and visited me and would sit there with me all day long and told me everything I need to know about how to nurture the baby."
Mm.
And they said, "We don't have anybody named Nurse Loretta." So then I stopped. So when I was on my way home, it was like that teenager turned into a mother instantly. So
Mm.
I didn't exist anymore. It wasn't nothing about Charmaine. It was all about the baby. And the baby became my human backpack. And so from that moment, that's when things started even more developing.
Mm.
More of these kind of talents
Yes.
started to
The
come as
gifts,
you became
yes.
a mom.
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
Hmm.
Okay.
Wow, a mom at 13.
Yes. It was the best thing ever happened to my life. That's all I can say.
Aw.
A girl or a boy?
It was boy. Yes. He's
Boy.
38 now.
Wow.
38.
Yes.
So he's was very much a part of your
Growing up.
talents, sort of manifesting themselves?
I don't know about that.
Mm.
I don't know.
Maybe a
No.
conduit?
Yeah, it just kinda just going along with the flow. With me, I was more developing because I was already tapped into it growing up.
Mhm.
So I was just nurturing, just taking care of him, but he taught me everything about life.
I
All the do's and the don'ts. That was my teacher of growing up.
Oh, wow.
Have there been, with permission to, like, your guides and to you, if you're comfortable to talk about it,
Mhm.
are you comfortable to talk about the guides that are, around you or that are make themselves available or kind of
Well, you have so many guys around you.
mm,
Yes, and they come and go. They don't always stay. They come for a certain period of time or two. Then somebody else comes in, then they'll leave. Yeah, so yeah, I have a lot of them come in, especially Angel of Death come in. So
Wow.
when I know somebody's about to cross over, they'll come and
Mhm.
visit me, let me know. It's like, oh, okay. So I just get myself prepared.
And do you have anybody, or not anybody, but do you have any around you now that you feel present
My
or
guides?
yes.
I always have main ones that always stay
Ooh,
with me.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I always just make sure I'm not by myself because I have these gifts, I'm always being attacked and challenged as well too because I have this light.
Mhm.
So people on the other side who's looking for light,
Mhm.
the darkness will come try to find your light.
Mhm.
So you constantly, I could be in the supermarket, somebody hit my ear, and it's like, okay, who the heck was that? So I have to make sure I'm
Yes.
always shielded.
Yes.
Especially go to Walmart and Target. I
Yes.
mean, they always attacking me, especially people who
Well,
empath.
I know
People
at
who are
Walmart.
yeah. If you're an empath, you be like,
Yes.
"Ah, Lord, leave me alone." So yeah, so that's why I have to wear crystals just to kind of protect and shield
Yes.
me so I'm not so much attacked
Oh,
by
got
the
it.
energy that's out
Yes.
there.
That's
so that
interesting.
energy can be, like, in between us, it can be
Yes.
coming from a person,
Yes.
it can come from any number of ways.
Correct. And it could be your energy might be coming from you as well.
Right, I understand, right? Like, my energy might, impact you,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
Or just
Yes.
maybe something else that's, like, in the field
Correct.
that's impacting you. It can come
Yes.
from a number of places.
Yes. And then also another thing we don't realize, but my son had a girlfriend and I think I was probably maybe in my 30s
Mhm.
and she seen me, she thought I was a ghost.
Oh.
And she was like, "Oh my God." And so later on I didn't really pick it up, but she said, "I was going through domestic violence 3 years ago and you will always come to me and say it's going to be okay." Now, did
Wow.
I ever know this lady? Not whatsoever. But she taught me that my spirit, just because I'm in my body, but my spirit also travels
Travels.
to other people during the daytime. And I said, "Oh, that's interesting."
Mm.
So maybe all of our spirit does that, but not sure. But I
Mhm.
know that sometimes we put our energy out there and
Mhm.
it does travel.
Mhm. Yeah, I've
Interesting.
had those type of experiences.
Like a
Okay.
out of body experience?
No.
Well, I haven't had an out of
No?
body experience, but, like, I don't know if that I would call this
Mm.
astral projecting, but sometimes I'll hear someone say is, "You came to me in a dream, Steve,
Mm.
Mhm.
and did this positive thing," right?
Mhm.
And I'm like, "Okay," like, "All right." Like, I'm pretty sure I was just watching, hanging out with the family, but that the soul or the spirit has the capacity to, I mean, maybe in different planes or dimensions,
Yes.
go and do this thing,
Correct.
you
That you
know?
have no idea this happening. So you ever get a time where you say, "Hey, you know what? You was on my heart," or "I was thinking about you." And then all of a sudden this person called, like, "I was thinking about you too." It's because the spirit was connecting on another platform that you're not aware of.
A whole different
So
level.
yes, yes. So that's what
Mm.
takes place. Yes.
Mhm.
So I'd like to chime in for a moment.
Please.
I
Absolutely.
saw you waiting to
Yes.
pop in.
She was so
So
cordial. Look at her.
my question is,
Yes.
with the different gifts that you have,
Mhm.
um, it seems that people that are religious,
Mhm.
do they frown upon you when you mention these things and think that you're more practicing witchcraft rather than something that's God's spirit given?
Yes, you do have people who are religious who doesn't understand that we're spiritual beings having a human experience. So yes, you will have people say, "Oh, you're not supposed to do that." But because I started at a young age, you talk to God about that. Ain't nothing I can do
Mm.
about that. It's a gift that I have no control of, and if I can help other people, that's my job. And so yes, I do have people who will disagree with it, even my family. That, "Oh Lord, here we go," So yes.
I'm gonna
So
move
did you mention
closer.
that you were a psychic as well?
Mhm. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
yes. It's
Yes,
like
yes, yes.
closer to the mic.
So you're a psychic. Let me get it all right.
Yes, ma'am.
A spiritual healer, a psychic,
Uh-huh.
And a
Medium.
and
medium.
A
a
medium.
medium.
Yes,
Medium.
ma'am.
So I mean, I can understand people thinking that's witchcraft because that's actually all the traits of witchcraft.
Uh-huh.
So I get that part
Okay.
definitely.
Yes.
But have you, and this is just me because we let
It's
loose and
okay.
I
Yes.
open,
Yes, please.
has anybody tried to commit you into a facility thinking that maybe you have some psychological issues?
No, ma'am.
Never?
Uh-uh.
Okay.
No.
I'm just saying because
It's okay.
sometimes you listen
Yes.
and then you start thinking like, okay, that you've never heard this before. I mean, I've heard it.
Okay.
I mean, I've heard it.
Yes.
Trust me. And I've
Yes.
had family members
Uh-huh.
that one practice witchcraft.
Okay.
Mhm.
And so when I listen to these different aspects on
Uh-huh.
both ends, because I'm open to hearing and listening.
Uh-huh.
Not only that, I played a witch in a religious play. So
She's so crazy. She's a
so
comedian.
so
Uh-huh.
so I mean it was funny because I was Madame Savannah
Okay.
and I played that part as the witch.
Uh-huh.
And it was funny, not funny, but listening to you talk because those were my lines.
Oh, really?
Those are my
Okay.
roles
Okay.
of seeing the future, um, reading palms and
Uh-huh.
et cetera, et
Uh-huh.
cetera.
Uh-huh.
And in this play, I got paid
Uh-huh.
as the woman that did these things.
Okay.
So I'll read your palm, I'll give
Uh-huh.
you this and that and the other, and you pay me,
Uh-huh.
and that's how I made my living.
Uh-huh.
But the beginning of the whole story is I was in church
Uh-huh.
before I became involved in witchcraft.
Okay.
And I had all those gifts.
Okay.
And the gifts, I was using them for the godly force at that time. I'm
Mhm.
talking about the character that I portrayed.
Uh-huh.
And then I saw I could make money.
Mhm.
So I started taking all those gifts and using them for my glory,
Correct.
for me,
Correct.
rather than for the glory of God.
Okay.
Now, I'm with you with everything except for the psychic part because
Uh-huh.
I tell people I'm psychic.
Mhm.
They tell me I'm psycho.
Okay.
So I,
Okay, so let me and I appreciate everything you say, but there's another side of it. So
Mhm.
that's the spiritual side.
Mhm.
So like I said, I was a teen parent, right? So I came to California when I was in my 20s. I ended up working for a family business. I became a CFO working in corporate when I was 30. Okay. And so I was making six figures and all that. Life happens.
Mhm.
Oh, I'm okay.
Oh, you gotta get closer
Yes,
to the.
yeah.
Yes.
Sorry.
There you
Just keep
go.
it close enough.
Okay. So life happens. You know,
Mhm.
I had a couple of strokes or whatever. Then I
I'm sorry,
started
you said you had a
a
couple of
couple of mild strokes.
strikes.
Yeah,
Oh, strokes. Okay.
strokes. I had a
Okay.
couple of mini
Okay.
strokes. I looked
Okay.
at my face and I could say, okay, so I already knew it was time for the leave. I had reached my capacity
Mhm.
at this company when I was a CFO.
Okay.
So I would get my body start to ache and whatever, which is normal when you go to a place.
Mhm.
And then all of a sudden, God was like, it's time to go. And I'm
Mhm.
thinking, okay, where I'm gonna make six figures at, you know? So I was living very comfortably. I had a good amount of money saved. But when I started going to work, my memory was gone. Every time I walk in the door, I couldn't remember not a darn gone thing. People would ask, and I have no idea what you're talking about. So
Mhm.
that was time for me to turn my resignation in or walk away. Recession hit 2009. I started my own finance business.
Mhm.
So then I'm also a fashion designer. So I make and design all my clothing.
Mhm.
And then I'm a chaplain in a prison. So I have my worldly stuff.
Gotcha.
And so God said, COVID happened, get out in the world, go help people. So use your gift. A lot of times I used to keep my gifts to myself. Only certain people who knew that I had it, I would
Mhm.
share. But now I'm realizing I'm helping more people. So I say, you know what? I'm going out in the world and not caring what nobody else saying and sharing my gifts to
Mm.
help people. And that's all I do. But I don't do it as a living because I have the fashion and all that to do as a living.
Mhm.
I'm just there to help to heal people who come to me, who's an empath, who don't know how to control these
Mhm.
emotions, or
Mhm.
people who's going through anxiety. I'll take the negative energy off of it. You know, so it's not like I'm trying to be mainstream. I'm just using the gift that God gave me
Mm.
to help people.
Gotcha.
So you know what? I would say let's put this all her good stuff to use. Let's see. Let's see how it goes. What do you think?
Well, as long as the energy, as long as you
She
open
probably
to
needs
it.
it more than anybody.
Rude.
Boo.
Oh, what do you think?
Well, I don't know. My stomach is hurting, so I don't know if there's somebody got something going on, but we could try it.
Somebody got
Okay.
bubble guts from the chicken she just bought us.
So you have to be open for it, you know. As long
Yes.
as if
Oh,
there's
we're
any
open.
blocks, if anybody disagree with it, there's nothing going to happen. So you
Yes.
have to be open. You have to give me
Absolutely.
permission, be able to tap into your energy. But I will say that there's somebody going through some anxiety, got some chest issues going on
Yes.
here. I don't know who it is yet,
Uh-huh.
but even when I started sitting down, I
Maybe
noticed
me,
there.
maybe a little
Maybe
anxious.
you. I don't
Yeah,
know. Is it?
maybe I don't know.
Okay, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Okay. But mostly time is always questions. When people
Yes.
ask me questions, then that's when I can give you more feedback on it.
Mhm.
That's more the psyche how it works. It just doesn't come out and say, okay, doop, 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 you're gonna do this. No. Questions, then I can be able to give you a little bit more detail what you should do, how to handle it in a better perspective.
Mm.
Whew.
I
Which
like
one
that.
y'all gonna do it? I'm
You're
the observer.
you're so
You're the
funny.
observer.
What do you think? See, what
Sure.
are you
I
open
mean,
to?
I'll ask you a question.
Okay.
I'll ask you a question about how to improve my physical health. I'd love for my health to be. I consider my emotional and like psychological well being to be pretty good,
Okay.
and I'd love to have my physical health more, optimal.
Hmm.
As like a question, I could ask
He's all
another
look at Melon. She's like, Steve, are you for real?
Guess what? I'm not a psychic. I can tell you that.
or like another
I know.
question is like
How,
like
how about okay, not to cut in, but how about do you see any angels around him that have any messages for him?
No, it doesn't work that
No,
way. No,
okay.
no, it doesn't work that way. And
Okay.
it's not the setting. It's not like
Yes.
one of the ones I've been practicing for years and just doing what everybody.
Yeah.
It's not like that. Mm-mm.
Okay.
But I will say you have a throat chakra going on. Your throat chakra. You're not speaking your truth of who you truly are, who you
Oh,
really want to be. I would say that because my throat is hurting for you when you started speaking. So blue is a color that you need to wear more to help with the throat chakra or start eating more blueberry, raspberries, and stuff like that. That's what I'm picking up for you.
well, before you came in, we were actually talking about that.
Really?
One of the things I'll share with you is so I've always struggled with that, like
Okay.
finding my unique tone and real voice.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite thing as I mature is to express myself. Like
Okay.
to really express myself is one of my favorite experiences of
Okay.
life.
Okay.
And
I
what
can
happened for me
listen to.
was when I grew up, my
Mm-hmm.
mom was kind of very resigned. She had a lot of trauma from her childhood and so
Mm-hmm.
forth. And then my father was like a rager at one time. He was a very dominating, kind of angry guy. And so what I learned how to do was curtail my true voice and become kind of socially manipulative to not draw negative heat or attention to me,
Okay.
which included like, the voice.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of my journey has been about what is my true
Mm-hmm.
real voice and what I'm really thinking. And,
Mm-hmm.
there are times where I take like, I'll be alone,
Mm-hmm.
thinking, and I'll take a very hard position on something.
Okay.
And there's part of me that goes, man, I wish I could just do that. Because what I find myself is I'm kind of naturally more mild, I'm
Mm-hmm.
more neutral.
Mm-hmm.
It's part of what makes me good at my job.
Mm-hmm.
Passive.
But yeah, there's a kind of passiveness. It comes from a traumatic upbringing.
Okay.
So I've had to learn how to be more assertive and aggressive. And I give myself a lot of credit around my ability to acquire those skills.
Okay.
Because to survive my family in the beginnings, it felt like passivity was what was required.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're very accurate around like me starting to speak.
Mm-hmm.
So I find, for example, I try to do social media posts for my
Uh-huh.
work, and
Uh-huh.
and it's still not quite the real
You.
tone
Mm-hmm.
yet.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very accurate what you're saying.
Well, thank you. Thank you. But also see red around you too. I don't know you stress or worry a lot, but red helps to kind of soothe that because it seems like your energy is out of balance. And that's the root chakra. So that deals with the childhood and stuff like that. So you have to put more red, wear more red for you as well. So that can help balance it out.
Yeah, the red is like I think the way I associate. By the way, I do a therapy that corresponds to the chakras and these
Okay.
colors. So you're
Uh-huh.
totally speaking my
Okay.
language.
Okay. Okay.
Um,
That's crazy.
red is a lot of like color of
Yeah.
passion and life
Yes.
instinct.
Mhm.
Yes.
Um, what I would say to that that's like alive in me is as I'm maturing,
Mhm.
I'm responsible for a lot.
Okay.
I'm responsible for a lot.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
it does wear on me. I have to take breaks. I have to
Mhm.
like relax. I go to the desert and I kind
Okay.
of calm myself.
Uh-huh.
But what is alive around the red is I'm a husband, you know, I
Mhm.
have a great wife,
Mhm.
and, I've got great, like, extended family. I have a 5-year-old who's gonna
Uh-huh.
start kindergarten, and I care
Oh.
a lot about my marriage and about my family,
Mhm.
and I care a lot about my extended family relating healthfully with each other, and they don't
Mhm.
always.
Mhm.
Could
Mhm.
be that can be stressful. And then I have a therapy practice, and I own and operate an outpatient drug and alcohol treatment center.
Okay. Okay.
And so the stress that I love it. I signed up for
Uh-huh.
it, but it's
Okay.
stress nonetheless. Is I love helping people see themselves and have a
Mhm.
better life.
Yes.
And the addiction work is very intimate because most of the people have very serious sufferings and traumas underneath their substance
Mhm.
use.
Mhm.
And so it's this very delicate and serious journey of helping people unpack those traumas and
Mhm.
become sober long term.
Yes.
And then beyond that is I have a crew that I work with, you know. And
Okay.
so what I say to people is I like the clients
Uh-huh.
and I love the team. I love the therapists. And so what I'm as a stress, but
Uh-huh.
also as a joy is I see my job is to nurture and empower and inspire and make sure they're paid and they go on vacations and that they are able to like live a life that feels energized so that they
Mhm.
come in and deliver.
Mhm.
And so I'm putting that energy out, and it does tire me to be like I need to energize these talented
Mhm.
therapists that
Mhm.
work for me.
Okay.
Um, like I have this one guy I'm thinking about, right? Like sometimes I say to myself, he doesn't work for me, you know. He doesn't work for me.
Uh-huh.
He works for his wife and he works for his son, right? Like,
Uh-huh.
and I don't need him to like. We have a partnership, and I love him, and I see that like what he's doing is really it's not really for me. It's not
Mhm.
maybe not even really for people. It's for his own life, right?
Mhm.
And like
Mhm.
appreciating that and like giving life to that truth.
Okay.
And then like my business, I see it more than just a place of treatment, but
Right.
like San Pedro's a small community,
Mhm.
and my the pressure or that kind of stress is like, can this place become a community center that
Mhm.
develops this heartbeat where people will go, oh yeah, Coastside's a good place. Coastside's recovery, good place. That they'll give you the love and the truth
Mhm.
there. I don't need people to kiss
Yes.
my ass and tell me
Correct.
how great I am,
Correct.
but I want them to say this is a good place, and then it restores the town's neighborly
Mhm.
family qualities,
Mhm.
right? So that
Mhm.
the work I do is larger than just who I'm sitting in front of.
Correct. Correct.
It has all these things. So
Yes.
I am deeply responsible for my vision
Correct.
and how I move and like put that out
Yes.
there. And it's a lot.
Yes, it
I'm
is a
doing
lot.
I'm doing a lot.
You are, you
I'm
are, and I
doing a
love
lot.
it. Yes, yes,
You
you
know?
are.
Woo!
Yes.
Poor
So
Steve.
And that's beautiful. And I can relate to you because I'm a chaplain in a prison. So I understand exactly what you're saying. And it's my passion working with the women in the prison. So I
That's cool.
understand exactly what you're saying. I'll do that for free. I mean, which I already do that for free, but I do that for
That's
free.
awesome.
yeah, so I care a lot about people, and I didn't realize I did this, but like this treatment center where we have the therapy and the addiction work is really this place that I needed. I
Mhm.
actually created the place that I needed, and so
Uh-huh.
I always say like to the clients, I say I was like the house is set with favorable conditions
Mhm.
for you to try things out.
Yes.
It will be very safe. You will feel like trust and love to just unmask yourself and try it
Mhm.
out,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And you'll be met with like empathy,
Oh, yes.
right?
Yes.
And so, and I didn't realize how much that like I was like that's what I needed
Yes.
to try out the voice, you know, to
Mhm.
say these things because
Mhm.
different times I said things and I really put my foot in my mouth and I didn't have the strength for
Uh-huh.
what came back at me.
Oh,
You
wow.
know,
Mm.
Okay.
I've had like very harsh
Mhm.
responses at times,
Mhm.
and I think part of that is like my own. I lacked the mental muscularity, if you will, to tolerate those
Okay.
criticisms.
Okay.
And so I think
Which is
part of this last
yeah.
chapter has been like rebuilding the muscle to kind of
Mhm.
go, here's the thing,
Yes.
and not require people to like it, you
Mhm.
know?
That part, yes. But I know exactly what you're saying because 'cause I'm in the prison and here I am thinking I'm helping them, but they are actually helping me in so many ways. And so, sometimes it's like you just be in the moment and just do what you have to do, and you'll be amazed how God will open up the doors and show you more things and elevate you. So a lot of things I did not know what women go through, but listen to their stories, how they open up, it just amazed me.
Mhm. Now, can you give us a little more detail on where you go, how you have accessibility to
Mhm.
see them?
Okay, well, I started back in 2012.
Uh-huh.
So my religion was Muslim. So I
Mhm.
converted to Islam when I was 30.
Mhm.
So it's like I needed more. I needed something else. This
Mhm.
Christianity, I was raised and born as Christian.
Mhm.
It seemed like I just needed more. What they were talking about just wasn't enough for me. And so a person who came into my life started talking to me about El Islam. And I was like, ooh, that sounds interesting. So we will
Mhm.
always kind of compare our
Mhm.
religion with each other. And I just liked the logic, what they were
Mhm.
saying. And then from that point, I started saying, okay, let me look into this. So I went into Seventh Day Adventist. I was just searching. It's like, I know there's more to life. This
Mhm.
is just ain't enough. And so I'm always searching, want to learn more and more. And I always ask God, if there's more, show me. Then COVID happened, and God said, go out in the world and help people.
Mhm.
Now, I didn't know what that looked like. So then that's when the county door opened. So
Mhm.
now I'm in Linwood, and I go
Mhm.
every Friday to Linwood.
Mhm.
So I'm the chaplain. So I go in there. I can bring anybody who I want. I bring all my material. I'm an author of 2 books. I have a book called Walking in Your Purpose. That was channeled with spiritual
Mhm.
affirmations and Walking with Grace.
May I ask a question?
Yes.
Those are
So,
great titles.
yes,
Thank you.
that is.
Thank
So
you.
that
All
is cool.
spiritual. I'm just channeled, I'm just a
Beautiful
vessel.
titles.
It,
Thank you.
I have a question.
Yes, darling.
So, you could bring anybody that you can. A lot of these girls,
Mhm.
or male or female, have drug addiction,
Mhm.
right?
Yes.
I wonder, if we knew someone
Uh-huh.
that would like to go and kind of, give a little bit of their expertise.
I would think about that.
Okay.
That would
I would
Okay.
I would I would consider that.
that would
Okay.
be cool.
I imagine that those environments are energetically very powerful.
They are. They're
How
very
do you
powerful.
how do you manage being in that type of energy?
Well, again, because I'm a spiritual being, I'm not going in there by myself. So I go in there
Mhm.
with my angel and guides that go in there and I just talk to them, and I listen to them. And when they see me, some of them just cry. They said, you have this bright light,
Mhm.
and they just like, I knew you was coming. It's like I woke up this morning, I felt this certain energy. And I said, Chaplain Holland coming. And then I show up and I say, okay. But I always tell them, I said, look, I'm just here for the moment. I said, I don't know what tomorrow might bring. I
Mhm.
said, but whatever I give you right now, hold on to that because I ain't guarantee I'm gonna be here next Friday.
Mhm.
So when they see me, so I don't make no commitment as in every Friday I'm showing up
Yes.
because I do have a life on the outside. I'm a
Mhm.
fashion designer and all the other stuff.
Do
Yes.
you speak to to these folks from a Islamic perspective, or
Uh,
how do you from a religious perspective,
Well,
or
talk to them as a spiritual
a
perspective.
spiritual perspective?
Yes, because whether sometimes they'll come into me and they say, "Oh, you're a Muslim. Okay, never mind. I don't want to talk to you." I said, "You sure?" I said,
Mhm.
"What you in here for?" And then they start talking, and I said, "Oh, God tried to get your attention. You wouldn't listen, huh? So he had to put you in a holding tank." I said, "So
Mm.
right now you a cocoon, and now you're
Mhm.
trying to develop your wings." And then I just be dropping gems. And they say, "Oh, can you put me down on your list?" I said, "You sure? I'm a Muslim now." And they like, "I don't care. Put me on your list." So I don't
Mhm.
I don't talk about religion because they're all tools that help us to navigate through life.
Mhm.
You know
Correct.
what I'm saying? So it's all about how are you going to survive in life? Whoever God is only one God. The same God wake you up, the same God wake me up. The one put me to sleep is the one who put you to sleep. That's how I look at it. And
Mhm.
so they agree with it. And so I talk to them based on whatever issue they're going through. Like one was getting ready to get out and she was crying and she said, I know I'm gonna go back on drugs. She was out for about 8 months inside the
Mhm.
county. And I said, well, why do you say that? I said, you've been clean for 8 months. And she said, because the only place I have is my sister and it's toxin with drugs.
Mm.
And so now I'm trying to connect with other reentry homes where I can get them and take them to the county, get the application that they need, and put them in a better environment so they don't have
Mm.
to go back to where they know that they're going to get go back on drugs.
Very
So,
important.
yes, yes. So that's what
Wow.
I do. So I do a lot of work, and they say, "Can we follow you when you come out?" Absolutely, long as you don't be playing no games. 'Cause Imma kick you to the curb. I
Mm.
tell them that so they know how to
Mhm.
find me,
Yes.
and I just help them however I can and find the resources
That's
of the people who can help
beautiful.
them.
That
That's
is
it, because I can't do it
beautiful. I
all.
love that. I'm touched by that.
Well, thank you.
Just because I have a family member and she's been in the system.
Yeah.
She's been in the system for a couple of good years, and eh, so it's sad, because you don't like to see them like
No, of
that.
course not.
Yeah.
Of course not. But a lot of them didn't have somebody that they can really talk to, you know what I mean, to help them. And so I also work with another organization that work with human trafficking girls. And so
Oh,
I mentor to the human trafficking girls who comes back inside society. They go into an 8-week program and they call me to just mentor to them. So I talk to them about life, self-development, what does that look like? And that's it. So
wow.
I enjoy that's my calling.
That's
You sound
beautiful.
like you're very good at it. What a gift.
Mhm.
Thank you.
That's a
Thank you.
beautiful
What a
Thank you.
gift.
gift. I have a
Thank
question
you.
for you.
Yes, sir.
Do you have advice or thoughts about like there are people who are listening and probably like, oh, I think I might have some of these
Hmm.
abilities. Advice on like what do you do or how do you begin to kind of make sense of it or protect yourself? Or like kind of closely to that. Like maybe there are people who are like, I don't know if I'm that, but I'm kind of sensitive and intuitive.
Hmm.
Like, I think people's moods do really affect me. Like,
Hmm.
do you have advice or tips on like, here's what I do to kind of
Hmm. Well,
keep the energies kind of distinct and separate, or like how to work with that, or those like what would you say to that?
first, I would say give gratitude. Always wake up in the morning time with gratitude. Thank God that you're on this side, but give gratitude for everything that you have. Look at the beauty in everything because every day is something beautiful. And look at the opportunities that you get for the day, and don't worry about everybody else because when you're worrying about everybody else, you're not focusing on you. And that's one thing I have learned. When you all in everybody else's business, when people are not, just this week, a lot of people are so much stress and they say, oh, she's stressing me out and this and that. And I realized that the moment somebody tell you their problem and you go repeating it, you just carried it. You add
Mhm.
that stress on you. And so if you don't have to repeat other people's stress, it makes it easy for you to just be that person to listen, give them advice, and let it go.
Mm.
So that's one thing. And then also gratitude. Gratitude and ask God and the angels to always protect you when you walk out the house and keep you from all negative energy. That's it. But you also got to be careful what you say. What you put out is what's going to come back in.
Mm.
So you keep throwing out negative energy, guess what's going to happen? It's going to come right back to you. So be positive, show love. I always say what you want is what you get. So you be nice to somebody else going to be nice to you. So that's one thing.
It's called paying it forward.
Yeah, paying it
You know
forward.
what? You know what interests me? I want to make sure I heard this right. Okay, so I heard what you said. I
Yes.
love it.
Thank you.
And one of the that I had not heard in the way that I think you're saying it is like the word that came up for me is gossip.
Hmm.
Like when someone's like, "Hey, I'm having this problem. Like, listen to this."
Hmm.
The person's venting, and maybe
Uh-huh.
you like are hearing it
Right.
or venting, or maybe you're joining and talking about the problem with them. But
Hmm.
you said if you go and you take that problem, and then I go and talk to you about the problem and
Hmm.
do what I would call that like a gossip.
Yeah, correct.
You're saying that that actually adds weight
To
to
you.
to you,
Correct. Because
and
yes, you grab it
because
now.
there's
You
lots of old
gravitated.
wisdom that says don't do that, right?
Yes. Yes.
So it's
Yes.
interesting to hear you say it in that way.
Yes. Yes. And yeah.
Gratitude.
Gratitude. Yes.
Don't like talk about the problem like
Correct.
that and like carry it on like that.
Yes. Like my kids come,
Be
they,
loving. Be careful what you say.
absolutely. And stay in affirmations always. I'm beautiful, I'm powerful. I mean, say things to uplift your vibration. If
Mhm.
you don't say that, sometimes you get lost in so much. The TV, the radio, I mean, they pull you in so many different directions. You just got to turn it off.
I know.
It's
I, I
true.
I
can't,
know.
I can't deal with it. It's just
Mhm.
way too much for me. Yeah, I start hyperventilating. I'm like, oh my God, turn it off. It's too much. It's
Yes.
too
Yeah,
much.
I'm starting to hear that. I'm starting to hear people say I have to limit how much news I watch because it upsets me.
Yeah, I don't
I'm hearing
watch
people
news
say like
anymore.
I'm starting to look at less social media because it just upsets me,
Hmm.
or it like feeds me these things that are really junky.
Hmm.
And I'm hearing more people say that
Yeah.
like it's wearing on them energetically.
It is. It is. And even today, I noticed it. And then what it is for me is because everything that's happening, I already been down that road. What's new? So I have to elevate myself to another level that I'm more comfortable with. So yes, it might be the space and galaxy and all that and science and all that.
Mhm.
That's where I'm comfortable at now because I already know what the bottom level is.
Mm.
I already know what the 3 dimension is. Okay, the fifth dimension. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
you have to take yourself to that level,
To the higher
to a
level.
higher level, if that's where you're going. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? If this is where you're at, then and that's where your environment where you work at, nothing you can do about it. Then you have to work in that area. But for me,
Charmaine, what do you think of this? There are people who probably are like, "Oh man, what a load of shit." Right?
yeah.
She's just a quack. Right, and there's people who are like that, like let's say that they are right. They're
Mhm.
like they think they are, but they're really not. Like maybe what you were saying earlier, like these people maybe have mental problems and they're and they're kind of advertising themselves
Mhm.
to people like, I can help you with your problems. Like
Mhm.
I can see the future or whatever.
Mhm. Mhm.
Like, how would you say for a person who's like, how do I tell if the person really has talent or is just sort of thinks that they do or is actually kind of gaming? Do you have a thought about that?
Well, because me, for instance, there was a young lady came to me this weekend, and she was afraid. She knew she needed some help, and she kept saying, "I feel like I'm coming out of my body." I said,
Hmm.
"Stop saying that." Because that's exactly what's happening.
Mhm.
And she said, every time I go to somebody, I feel like they're taking my energy. I said, well, then call your energy back. And so I said, follow your heart. If your heart and your spirit say that's the person that you need to go see, then go see that person. If not, we all have intuitive. You have to tap into it to know who is for you, who ain't for you. You know
And
what I'm
to trust
saying?
that.
You have to trust it. Because pretty much anytime we go anywhere in this world, you trusting something. What are you trusting? Yourself, your gut feeling. Should I do that? Should I be with that man? Should I date that guy? Should I go to lunch? Same thing with spirituality. If
Mhm.
you're looking for, try to trust it. And if you don't trust it, then that's where something might happen. And then you have to learn from that lesson and let's do it all over again.
Mm.
So that's how I look at it.
I
Hmm.
have a question. Have
Yes.
you ever done an exorcism?
No, ma'am.
You
I
don't
don't
do that?
touch
No.
nothing.
Well, I was questioning because you
It's okay.
said you can see, you
Yes.
things around you and feel. So, that's why I asked that question.
It-
Now, my other question is, let me go. Let me let you go ahead and
Okay.
answer.
When I say I can see and feel, that's when they come to me. So it's like they would have to, like families on the other side. I'm in the supermarket.
Oh,
Somebody come touch my ear. Okay, who's that? You know what I'm saying? So
oh, the people on the other side
the
come
other
to you.
side comes to me. Yes,
Oh,
or out. Yes,
kind of like the movie Ghost.
yes, ma'am. Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Now, have you
And
um
also like that. What's that movie called? I See Dead People.
Mhm.
That one.
the
Yeah.
Sixth Sense?
Yeah. Sixth Sense. Yes.
And love both of those movies.
Okay.
So you said you're a healer as well.
Yes, ma'am.
So, have you ever healed anyone that was probably in a wheelchair where they actually got
No,
up or somebody was blind?
no, I don't do that stuff. No.
Oh, what kind of healing do you
So
do?
I just do. I scan your body to see if you have any darkness. And I just pull the negative energy because a lot of times we speak and we speak a lot of negative energy. Where that energy going? It's going in your body. And that's how we have
Oh,
diseases. That's how
okay.
we have stress. That's how we got anxiety. So I pull that negative energy off
So
your
you're talking
body.
about more
It's
emotional healing.
yeah, yes, yes.
Got you.
Yeah,
Or what
not
that would do is maybe like be preventative, like where your that darkness that's residing could later turn
correct.
into manifest to a
Absolutely.
physical
And
illness,
it does,
and you're
yes.
kind of preventing by removing that.
Correct. I see it, my
Interesting.
hands feel it, I take it from you, put in the light, and then I add white light in that
That
area to
did
prevent that.
that movement you just did.
Sorry, yeah,
No,
that's
no, that's your
yes.
way of healing, right?
Yes.
I love that.
Yes.
I could feel that, sense that. It's pretty cool. Now, do you have a website? I forgot to
Yes, I do have a website.
Solomon?
Yes, it's Charmaine Holland, and it's CHARMAINE, Charmaine, and then Holland like the country, HOLLAND.